for a PB. So looking to crush that sub 1 hour with this race here. And what else? What else do we know?
Rdwalshv. Oh, we're
yeah,
starting.
Pretty good. We're getting started. Hey, good luck to the runners, and we're off and running. Starting with the prologue.
There's a lot of jumping.
Just a lot of jumping.
There's an unfortunate death on Cat's side.
It's always rough seeing a death in prologue, but it does happen to everybody at some point in their speedrunning career of this game. It's unfortunate, but looks like we're still waiting to sync up right now. This is always the segment where it's just like the sync just kind of waiting to happen. Casual Night still has yet to get off and running, but you see Catnip and JJ both getting their dash, following the bird's instruction there at the end of the prologue.
Yeah. And rdwalshv on the bridge. Yeah, as I said, jumping's a little bit faster, so you see you doing as much as possible. Some people will stop jumping a little bit early so that they don't jump off the bridge. Alright, it looks like we're going to have some pausing for a little bit to try and catch everyone up.
That's okay. It's just the tutorial anyways. You know, this is the first small, tiny section of the game, so there's not a lot going on.
Yeah. As Casual Knight's making his way through the end of it.
Looks like we're seeing some folks jump ahead here into Forsaken City. This will be interesting to see. It's always fun to watch the beginning of these races because there's just a lot of syncing that goes on between the different racers, kind of temporarily. Yeah.
It's especially interesting to watch the beginning of runs because you get introduced to the dash, which gives you a ton of movement mechanics like the hyper and the extended and the reverse stuff. And it's always interesting to see, you know, how someone will utilize their dash, because you can always have someone who is very, very, you know, quick moving and uses their dash in a lot of places. Or you can see some people, like I usually see this in newer runners, who can be good with some skips and tricks, but you don't see them using their dash to their fullest potential. They might spend some time just kind of sitting there, or just like walking and not kind of, like dashing as much.
Right, like winding up for tricks, basically. Yeah, making sure that they're in the right place and that kind of thing.
Yeah, and that's something that can add up over time. Usually, as long as you're moving, it's not too bad, but you always want to be careful.
Absolutely. So it looks like Casual Knight's stream is caught up to the other folks right now.
Yeah, rdwalshv's stream is a bit ahead, but thanks to Cyclone on setup, we're having some good syncing going on for this so that we can actually get a view on who's where. I do want to say, though, that is, for somebody who has a 103, that is a really good screen to be on at 2:05 in the timer for Walsh.
Definitely.
Like, that's usually where, like, I expect to be at that point.
Yeah, it's always exciting to see the kind of rapid improvement that a lot of these runners have been making in this early phase of the tournament. Lots of new faces just picking up the game for the first time, and you'll see these times really drop if you follow some of these runners.
Yeah, especially because we had a lot of people pick this game up because of what they saw at SGDQ. And that was only like a week or two before the tournament started.
Right. Yeah, a lot of people just kind of flocked to this tournament after seeing YP versus TGH. All right, so we have... go ahead.
Yeah, I was going to say, everybody's done with City now, and JJ is a pretty good lead on entering Old Site. Just hit that cutscene, and now has activated Dream Blocks, which you can dash through to kind of travel in that direction until you get popped out the other side. And that gives you your dash back. So a lot of people just think about dashes, but I actually like to think about stamina on its own. Because stuff that can restore your dash can also restore your stamina. Where you can kind of cling onto a wall and then jump up it like you just saw JJ do. And getting stuff like a dash crystal or like going out of a dream block can also restore that. So it's another interesting movement to think about on top of dashing, especially when our bottom half of runners is already in the battle and chase, where battling is chasing you, doing your exact movements 3 seconds behind when you're doing them. So you gotta stay on your feet.
Yeah, we'll see JJ in a second here, kind of doing some interesting maneuvers here to dodge his I don't know, his alter egos, if you will. Especially on this long screen here coming up, he's gonna dash down here and just narrowly miss his copycat movement.
Yeah.
At the end of that screen. That's always a fun screen to watch, just because it looks like it's not gonna work out, but it it ends up working out just barely.
I play that screen extremely safely, like the last couple of screens of the battle and chase, which Catnip is just now getting to.
It's not a bad idea because it's such a long screen, and especially in a race setting, like a death on that screen can really set you back pretty early on.
Mm-hmm. Also, according to chat, Catnip took a little bit of time to swap controllers because of one messing up, so gave rdwalshv a good time to get a little bit ahead. And JJ already done with old sight. A very good time.
Cruising.
Okay, I think this is the controller swap happening that was mentioned in chat. Because there is a lot of delay, because syncing can kind of be weird. And an interesting way from Walsh to dodge those battle-ins at the end.
rdwalshv struggling a little bit there at the start of this long screen at the end of the battle-in fight.
Mm-hmm.
See how he does with the second half here, going down, doing the little skip past those dash crystals. Unfortunately, takes another rough death there. But keep your eye out. I'm sure he'll persevere. As we have JJ entering Celestial Resort. One of my personal favorite moments in this run here, just because there's a lot of very, very tricky stuff going on that you really want to get the first time, because the cycles, if you die, can be a little bit finicky and a little bit harder to adjust to.
Something about you saying that this is one of your favorite parts of the run really lets me know how new to this game you are.
Lol.
This stage is very mean, because the cycles and the way they work is when you enter the screen and when you die, the cycles are going to be different. So you basically have to learn a ton of the screens in this level twice. And sometimes the death cycle can just be insanely unforgiving and require a lot of pausing and just not good times.
Yeah, I don't know.
Now into the hotel itself as rdwalshv finishes up chapter 2.
Catnip tailing close behind at the moment.
Mm-hmm. Struggling with that last
wrapping up this
there.
last screen. Yep.
It is a rough one.
Super costly if you get hit by the battle line trail.
Which is happening
it's probably
right now.
Yeah, it's probably like what, 7 or 8 seconds per death.
Yeah, but
I guess.
now
there we go.
Through.
4cat is through. Everybody's
now just kind of has to do some jumps. I don't think battling is even here in this part anymore.
Right, I think at this point it's just kind of a sprint to the finish.
I mean, you could still crash yourself into a wall with a dream block. I've done that before.
Yeah.
You see Walsh messing up with a cycle here while JJ is starting through the huge mess where has to hit 3 buttons on 3 different branching paths to clean up all the stuff.
There's a lot of stuff to clean up.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff to clean up.
It ain't gonna clean itself.
Fortunately, it's just a huge surplus of 3 different things. And hitting 1 button will clean up every single type of that thing. So you only gotta hit 3 buttons.
Pretty convenient, honestly.
Yeah.
If only cleaning stuff were actually that easy. JJ finishing up the book section here, gonna move on to the final part of Huge Mess. The laundry room.
Towels.
Gotta clean up those towels. It's gonna do a couple of
you
hypers.
Shower, you just throw your towel on the floor like it's unclean. Not gonna say those words.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't worry, JJ's here to clean them up for you. Catx speeding through the first rooms of the resort there. Wow, that was
very
really
nice.
good movement.
You can see that practice kicking in a little bit there for sure.
Yeah. Definitely gaining time over Walsh, who's struggling a little bit with the Dust Bunnies. Very understandable. That room in particular is an evil one if you don't have a good strat for it.
Casual Knight going for the spike jump and gets it there.
Yeah.
On the edge of that screen. And moving right along up to the second section of Huge Mess.
Mm-hmm.
A very tricky jump. If you, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, but if you're facing away from spikes when you jump into them, they won't kill you. So that allows you to basically do a wall kick off of that area.
Yeah.
Something
I think
like
it's
that.
a few pixels where you can wall kick off a wall while moving away from it. And since the way the spikes works, since they don't damage you when you're moving away, you can hit that little part of the wall on the wall with spikes. It's a combination of two different kind of mechanics of two different objects to get one strat working. Because honestly, the jump would be the exact same if the spikes weren't there.
Right.
They just happen to be there.
It's kind of a tricky piece of tech to wrap your head around if you're new to the game.
Yeah, that's why in Ben Teasy's tutorial, he always likes to talk about how it's not really a spike jump. Because if you're moving, again, as I said, if you're moving away from the spikes, it's basically as if the spikes aren't there. So you really just shouldn't think about the spikes. We just call it a spike jump because, hey, there are spikes.
Right.
We're told not to think about the spikes, but we call it a spike jump because we're thinking about the spikes.
It's kind of a misnomer, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So JJ working his way through the Oshiro fight at the moment. Handling it pretty well so far. This is looking like it could be a 6-minute resort, which is
I'm jealous.
pretty solid, to be honest. As we have rdwalshv and 4cat actually on the same screen right now.
Yep.
Pretty nicely
4cat
synced,
taking
but
the lead.
4cat's going to pull ahead here and try to pull off the spike jump. Gets it.
I think that was third try, which is
third
nice.
try. Not bad.
As Casual Knight's leaving the Huge Mess and now in the elevator shaft.
rdwalshv, I think, getting it first try there, the spike jump.
Yeah.
So these two are neck and neck. This is turning out to be a pretty good race.
Meanwhile, JJ is now finished with Celestial Resort. We'll be heading to Golden Ridge fairly soon, just after these menus. My favorite thing, speedrunning.
Oh yeah, menus
Right,
roll.
there we go.
Big fan of the menus.
I'm a big fan of them.
Yeah. Well, if anything, it's a nice breather, kind of in the
Yeah, definitely.
in between moments in your segments, right? It's nice that there's some kind of break because during the chapters themselves, you definitely don't get any downtime whatsoever.
Yeah, no, absolutely not. Except for like a few screens in Golden Ridge, because there's a lot of new mechanics in Golden Ridge, such as the wind here that pushes you back, or the bubbles that basically grant you an extra dash in midair. But one of them you're going to be seeing very soon, not quite, is going to be these platforms that kind of move at a set speed when you either step on them or grab them. And you can steer them, but some screens will just make you wait for them to get to a certain part of the screen. And that's really the only break you ever get. It's a few seconds, so yeah.
Yeah. it's definitely a small little break in the middle. We still have 4cat here and rdwalshv very close together at the moment. This is a very exciting watch. If you look at the top half of your screen here.
Mm-hmm.
As we have Casual Knight definitely holding it down against JJ at the moment.
Yeah.
Almost done with Oshiro.
Yeah, I think this is the third to last screen of the level.
Bit of a headache with these little trampolines here. Very hard to move through that screen fast, I've found.
Ooh.
Not... Whoa, that's safe.
I thought he was a goner.
Whoa. Let's see how Casual
Again,
Knight
look
does.
at the top screen there.
Oh wow. There's a lot to process right now. I'm looking at Casual Knight finishing up Oshiro, the final screen here. Kind of
JJ just absolutely rocking this Golden Ridge.
Casual Knight's gonna finish with a looks like a 725 resort. So really, only about a minute or so slower than JJ's resort.
Yeah, that's really good. Granted, I say really good, but when I get like 20 seconds better, I hate it.
Everybody has different standards, for sure.
Yeah.
That's part of the fun of this tournament, I guess, is everybody's kind of...
Bounty clouds existed in real life.
Yeah, for sure.
What they do in this game.
I said a very similar thing during my last commentated race. So it's weird that somebody else is out there kind of feeling the same way.
I mean, hey, they're nice. I want them.
Yeah, bouncing on clouds in real life would be sick. No lie. So 4Cat here, she seems to have pulled away just a little bit from rdwalshv.
Using a few screens that rdwalshv had a trouble with to their advantage to pull ahead into a Shiro. Meanwhile, JJ on the cliff face where the winds are so strong that you basically can't move without dashing or doing some sort of technique.
Ooh, gets hit with a snowball there, unfortunately. It's always tough to account for the snowballs when the wind is probably the strongest it gets in that screen.
Yeah.
And it's a really awkward screen to work through, I'd say. Unless you're doing like the wave dash strat, which he was attempting on his first attempt there.
Yeah. And somebody in chat is named Team Cat. I wonder who they're rooting for on the top.
Definitely rooting for 4Cat, it seems.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe it's just a sick coincidence.
It might just be a coincidence, yeah.
I think it might be.
Yeah.
Casual Knight was jumping down to do the extended strat with that block, but he just fooled us all.
4Cat here on the final screen of Oshiro. Seeming
Easily
to struggle.
the most challenging screen of Oshiro, by the way.
Absolutely.
It's
third to last screen and the last screen are definitely the worst ones to reckon with. So 4Cat.
Cats hate other cats. My bad. Yeah, I'm in the land of rabbits where it's a 50-50. They're either best friends or worst enemies, and there's no in between.
Yeah. I'm in the land of ham where nothing grows. kind of bleak out here. So here we go. What's going on here? We have JJ working his way through the first section here of Mirror Temple. Mm-hmm. Lots of potential for some fun fast strats going on here.
Yep.
In this early section, it's very open. Lots of kind of vast spaces to bound across here.
Yeah.
So it's a very fun section of the run, leading up to the Seeker section, which is a little bit more claustrophobic, I guess.
Yeah, and rdwalshv finishing up Celestial Resort, now going to be heading to the name of the stage, Golden Ridge. I got it.
Just took you a second there.
Yeah, but now heading to Golden Ridge. Catnip is not too far into Golden Ridge, so
yeah,
if
this is
quickly could close that lead. Because it was a very tight race, but Catnip was able to open the race quite a bit with the Shiro. This
is very much still up in the air between these two.
Yeah, and now getting the spike jump on Catnip's side. And JJ playing as the Seeker here.
Very tricky wall bounce here off of these spikes. Catnip's really persistent with it. Mm-hmm. Seemed to briefly be debating whether to go for the typical strat. Let's see if she keeps trying to move along with this.
Yeah, if they keep going, this could be what Walsh needs right now. Is this?
All about the timing on this screen.
There we go.
There we go. She gets it.
Very good job.
Not an easy strat.
Yeah, absolutely. It's very challenging.
Yeah. It's hard to get once, let alone to do consistently enough for a race setting. So props for pulling that off.
Yeah. I mean, I've gotten to the point where I'm getting it fairly consistently, but I still do sometimes miss it. And JJ now having to dodge the Seekers as opposed to playing as one.
Casual Knight moving through that snowball room that JJ had some trouble with earlier. Oh! Gets decked with a snowball.
I think I'd like to nominate this room in all honesty. I'd like to nominate this room for probably my least favorite in Ridge.
It might be my least favorite out of the ones that I've learned so far.
Especially with the strat.
Like 5 chapters.
I do a strat where I try and do like 2 wave dashes off of like small platforms, and it is just painful sometimes.
It's incredibly precise, and the physics are just not working in your favor. So
yeah, the wind's not the greatest. I mean, I like the wind in this last room here, where it's just pushing you super far forward, and it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, I wish that the end of this chapter were more like that, but it is what it is. It's definitely a challenge, if nothing else. And
Still
we have
JJ Knight to finish.
JJ nailing Search Skip first try there. Gonna be cruising down here to this final section of Mirror Temple fairly quickly here. I don't know. Could this be a sub 5? I don't know.
I don't know. I can't see the time very well right now, so I can't tell what this is going to be entering the Theo section or the rescue section if you want to get official.
It looks like it could be somewhere in the 5-minute territory.
It's going to be somewhere in the 5-minute territory, definitely, but not sub 5.
Not a sub 5, yeah. The Theo section here takes a little bit of time.
Might miss it, Theo.
As you can see.
Theo is a bit weird because you can't dash or move very fast while holding him, but you can throw him and then dash and then pick him up mid-dash or mid-hyper-dash, which can carry your momentum and even maybe boost it a little bit, which can make some of the movement in this section way more difficult than, I'm going to say it, more difficult than possibly any other part of the run.
Possibly. It's definitely a unique set of movements to get used to, because it doesn't appear anywhere else in the speedrun.
Yeah.
And it is a little bit tricky to get used to, for sure. But some of the strats here are pretty cool. Let's see what JJ's going to go for here. Unfortunately, struggling a little bit to get Theo to cooperate on that dash block, but
the momentum
gets it
there. That dash is always cool off of that dash.
That's fun. Yep. Very nice. Doing quite well with this movement. This section can be a major headache for runners, so it's cool to see JJ kind of moving through this fairly cleanly at the moment. Save a couple of minor optimization errors. I think this has been deathless, to my knowledge. I might have missed a death.
I think there was one at some point, but I can't
possibly.
remember. We'll find out!
we sure will.
Oh, wow, nice Seeker jump to get up on that platform. Heading into the last room where there will be these waves that will push you backwards. You'll see runners usually either try and like dash through them, and you'll sometimes see people like stall so that they can get through them. Meanwhile, Casual Knight heading into the mirror. Well, Catnip is at the beginning of the chapter. 3 deaths. Okay, wow.
Not
Catnip
bad.
at the beginning of the chapter, and Walsh in the last portion of the Golden Ridge. I'll remember the name one day.
Yeah, that's fun. Casual Knight here doing the Seeker tutorial section, where you briefly control this spooky monster that ends up chasing Madeline kind of later on here in these next couple of screens. Again, another one of those moments in Mirror Temple that just has movement that is completely unique to the rest of the game, which I find fascinating. That this game has pretty varied platforming beyond just moving Madeline around.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, you kind of get a different flavor of different stuff in different parts of the run.
Oh wow, nice save from JJ on the crush blocks. That was kind of funny. But especially with Chapter 6, you not only have the crush blocks where you can basically control which one of 4 directions they go and use them however you please, but these golden feathers are omnidirectional, so your full 360 range of movement is available with analog stick. You can just use keyboard or D-pad or something and map them to an 8-directional plane.
Yeah, using the D-pad for the feather, in my experience, has been a bit challenging to say the least. So I've
Yeah.
tried to adapt to analog.
I think I have a controller that can't cooperate with this game omnidirectionally. So even though I use analog for the feathers, it's an 8-directional stick, and it's just painful. But JJ using them easy, and
yeah, JJ clearly has very solid control of the feather mechanic here.
yeah, and Walsh finishing up the Golden Ridge. I did it.
You named it. You said the thing. Congrats. So everybody's done with Golden Ridge at this point. We're all either in Mirror Temple or Reflection. As 4Cat here is moving into the beginning of Unraveling, with a bunch of kind of very tricky
Spikes and Seekers.
Spikes and Seekers. That's what it comes down to, in a nutshell. Yeah. And up on Casual Night's screen here, we have what looks like Search Skip here coming up. Gets a first try.
Nails it.
I feel like a good chunk of the runners that I've seen have just been nailing that strat first try, like without...
My PB got a 5th try, like, in a tournament race, and I was like, why?
That's too bad.
But yeah,
it depends.
JJ already threw with the split paths portion of this level of Reflection, where you can choose different paths between up or down. Now talking to Grandma, and is going to be chasing Battling through the cavern.
All right, JJ going for part of that dev intended skip, but I think opting to avoid the second part of it.
The second part of it is weird because you can't. It's one of the ones that you can line up by hitting a wall, but you do skip a checkpoint by doing that one. So some people, if they want that safety checkpoint for the third one, because the third one is pretty tricky, they can just go get it.
Yeah, JJ's thinking about, I guess he's thinking about the race and just making sure that he can minimize his opportunities to lose a bunch of time.
Yeah.
Very smart move.
I mean, he does have quite a lead against Casual Knight here, who is just doing Theo's section at the end of Mirror Temple.
Yeah. JJ saying that he wanted to pull off a win here after his first couple of matches in which he was handed a couple of losses against the top 2 seeded folks in his group. So he's really looking to turn it around here. Looks like he's doing
I can relate to that.
Looks like he's doing it in a pretty big way right now.
Yeah, sure is.
He's gotten 2 PBs so far today, a 39 and his first ever 38, so I think he's looking to make it a triple.
Yeah, oh baby.
Oh baby.
Alright, yeah. And then Casual Knight headed on to the final screens of Theo. Just has this... and then this is the 4th to last one before the big eyeball at the end. So the 5th to last screen, basically. Meanwhile, rdwalshv just being attacked by their very first Seeker, as Catnip is working on Theo.
Moving right along. It looks like Casual Knight and 4Cat are actually kind of in similar sections right now, with Casual Knight having a bit of an advantage.
Yeah, well, the thing is,
match.
Catnip's in like one of the first like 3 or 4 screens of the Theo section. Well, Casual Knight is literally on the last room. So
that's about as close of a matchup as we're getting at the moment between these.
Unfortunately, some races
it just kind of works out that way. Yeah.
But yeah, the way that PB seeding works, there are just some races where it's not going to go as close as possible. Although we have seen a lot of improvements mid-tournament that have led to races being a lot closer than you'd expect between 2 races, which has been really cool to see. Yeah,
I think I heard about, not to talk about other races when one's happening right now, but there was one race, I guess, where the lead change happened in Flag 2 of Summit, which is literally the exact end of the run almost. So that's
I don't even think I saw that one today.
Yeah. So there's definitely some room for surprises so far in this group stage, which is very exciting. And so what's going on? Casual Knight wrapping up Mirror Temple here.
Oh, apparently took a while on that last one because Catnip.
4Cat's like right
there
on Casual Knight's tail, like mere seconds away.
Yeah, let's see that. Yeah, they're like basically tied entering Reflection. That's interesting. I didn't expect that. Meanwhile, Walsh coming up on Search Skip and JJ nearing the end of the last screen of Reflection. And there he goes.
First try Search Skip.
Very nice.
From RD Walsh. That's pretty huge.
And JJ now leveling up, now has 2 dashes, notified by the pink hair. Oh no, Cat falling a little bit.
The one moment where you level up in this entire game. Making it an RPG.
Oh? Okay. We were just gonna see it once.
4Cat, yeah, 4Cat trying Lake Skip exactly once.
I think I might actually do that, because I was actually doing okay on Lake Skip earlier, but that obviously means I won't do it now.
Lake Skip is cursed. Cursed strat.
What words am I trying to say? Oh, we have Casual going through the original strat here, where you try and get the golden feather to fly it all the way up there. Usually see players do some neutral jumps to get up there without wasting your stamina, but doing that normally. I guess if you are bad at neutral jumps, they are pretty tricky. So, I guess I should talk about Summit for a second, because Summit, two things in particular. One, it's kind of a mashup of every other level before kind of becoming its own original thing. So you're going to see a lot of things, like, for example, this 500-meter section, which is themed off of Forsaken City, the first chapter. And the other thing you're going to notice is the game notices that 2 dashes is a whole lot of airtime. And oh my god, so close, Casual Knight to saving that.
Oh, JJ,
the other thing is...
JJ with some sick bounces there, by the way. That was a very nice room just a second ago.
But the other thing you're going to notice when it comes to the Summit is it knows you can get a lot of airtime with double dashes. So there's going to be a lot of spikes and a lot of pits to the point where it might be overkill.
Do you think JJ can PB at this point? I'm kind of looking at his time and thinking, well, trying to do the math.
Yes, I think it's very possible that JJ could PB off of this.
It looks like it, yeah. I think a high 38 is the time to beat.
Because if you're at this point and you have 10 minutes to go, you're already over 1.5 minutes in. And even someone like me, who's several minutes behind JJ, can get an 11:07 Summit. So
okay, all right.
I think JJ could definitely do it.
All right, let's go, JJ.
Do you remember what the seconds were on JJ's PB? Or
Discord real quick and take a look. See.
All right, that would be appreciated. Meanwhile, Cat and Casual Knight both working through their split path section. RD Walsh is in the final section here.
I got the info.
What is it?
The time is a 38:46. He has to get a 38:45 in order to PB.
Ryutek in chat, 27:10 was his Summit start. So 11:35 is a Summit time that I definitely think JJ could end up getting. Even something better than. And it's definitely been a good Summit so far, heading into 1500. Which is definitely one of the really challenging sections of Summit. The cycles from Dust Bunnies from Chapter 3 are back with a vengeance in the Summit. And they do not play nice at any point.
These cycles are absolutely evil.
I hate them. Especially with 2 rooms in particular, this being one of them that JJ is just about to finish up, where it's very long, and any mistake will send you right back to the beginning of it. And all right, cool. Getting through probably the roughest screens of 1500 here. rdwalshv now entering Reflection. And a few screens ahead of Casual Knight. A few screens ahead of Catnip is Casual Knight.
Yeah, that's definitely turned into an interesting kind of matchup to watch. Even though the result doesn't really matter between those two, it's still it's always fun to watch kind of the closer matchups here.
And I believe that was a deathless 1500 from JJ, so definitely doing good.
Insane. Let's go.
Oh. Doing an interesting strat there.
Nice strawberry grab. Very clutch.
Mm-hmm. I mean, that's one you see grabbed a lot, but it's so cool. Yeah, there are usually like 2 or 3 strawberries that you see. Sometimes a bit more, but usually does not happen. No, Birdo. We cannot commentate races that we play. So I don't think a commentator has won their own race yet.
JJ opting to play it safe here on the auto-scroller skip in 2000. Definitely, I think, at this point, just looking to minimize opportunities to lose a bunch of time. I think he's doing some calculations, doing the 200 IQ game.
He definitely is at a point where deathless could probably is probably more important than anything, because it's definitely, as I said, he could be the one to pull off in like an 11:30 summit and still get a PB. But not only can he definitely do faster if he just plays well, but if a lot of bad things happen, that PB could be dust.
And if we learned anything from Celestial Resort, it's that we don't like a mess.
Yeah.
No dust.
I do like dust in Elysian Tale. But that's not the game we're talking about.
Dust Force is a great platformer, but it's not this game.
This game is also a great platformer. And actually, fun fact, since the beginning of Reflection, never mind, I'm wrong. No, I'm not wrong. I think Catnip is ahead of Casual Knight. Again, they are not racing each other, but it's kind of cool to see how they're doing, because they're, like, really close to each other.
rdwalshv working through the feathers right now here.
Yeah, working through the feathers and the split paths. And JJ did key skip there, where did 2 jumps to avoid having to go through some extra rooms. And I don't think going to with this pace right now, but door skip is coming up, so we'll see if he goes for it.
You know, I think if he didn't go for the auto scroller skip in 2000, he's not going to go for door skip.
He's not going to go for door skip. Yeah, I definitely understand him playing it safe there. Because if his PB is actually a high 38, like you said, you remember what the seconds you said were?
38:46.
38:46. Probably going to have about 4.5 minutes in 3000, which is...
Ooh.
Oh, no! 4 minutes in 3000, which is probably like
cursed commentary.
Which is more time than you need sometimes.
Let the guy finish 2500.
No.
In peace. There we go. All right. Now we got 4 minutes. Let's go.
Yeah, 4 minutes is definitely enough time to do 3000. Meanwhile, rdwalshv is really close to the beginning of the battle line fight that Catnip is really close to the end of on the second to last screen of it. Casual Knight a few screens behind Catnip, making this pretty close.
Yeah, Revo pointing in the chat that they do have a bit of a discrepancy right now in terms of their in-game timers. So it could be that Catnip actually has a bit of an advantage over Casual Knight.
a bit more of an advantage than we currently see, at least. Yeah.
Yeah, RTA it's neck and neck, but 4Cat I think has a bit of an advantage at the moment.
We'll just have to see the ending of the levels to see what they have.
And rdwalshv actually faring pretty well here as well, just starting off with a battle and fight.
Absolutely.
Seeming to gain just a little bit of ground on his competition at the moment.
Yeah, as Catnip is exiting Reflection now, and JJ is just drilling through Summit like it's nothing. There's checkpoint 16, there's 15, halfway through the flags.
Doing quite nicely at the moment. And trying his hardest to not miss a beat here for the next couple of minutes.
Yep.
Pull off the 3rd PB in a single day.
Insane.
It'll drop his time about a minute from what it was at the start of the day, so that's not too shabby if you can pull off another 38 here.
Absolutely.
Yeah, Revo. JJ's PB is a 38.46 at the moment.
Yep. And Casual Knight also finished with Reflection. Meanwhile, Walsh still in that first portion of battling, not in that remix portion where the blocks start moving, but still that first portion. Getting close to that remix portion, though. So, doing really well. And, oh, nice. Flag 9 from JJ. Going up the wall. And Catnip now heading on to 500.
JJ really turning up the heat here after opting for a couple of safer strats leading up to 3,000 meters. I think right now the cuffs are off, if you will, and he just wants to go for that PB.
Possibly. I'm not sure, actually. I'm not going to say that. But yeah, definitely going to be a really good finish here from JJ.
Approaching the final flags here.
Yeah, that's 2 right there on that island, so...
I'm not going to say anything.
I think I know. I think we're thinking the same thing, and no, this is not going to be a 37. Especially with that. Oh, no.
Unfortunately, missing an opportunity for an even fatter PB. However, here he goes, flag 1. How's he going to finish? This is looking like...
Looking really good.
It could
looking to
be a giant PB from JJ. Wow!
Well done. 38.09.
And a sub-11 summit to boot.
That's crazy.
GG's to JJ. Three PBs in one day. Absolutely wacky. That is the triple we were alluding to earlier. JJ must be feeling pretty good about his play for the day at the moment. That's,
yeah.
Pretty phenomenal. So GG's to him. Let's watch the other folks finishing up here.
We have Walsh working on that second section of the battle and fight. A bit of struggle with those tight spikes at the end, which they are very annoying.
Again, rdwalshv's PB is sitting at a 103, so you have to wonder if he could still pull off the sub 1 here. It seems like it's definitely within the realm of possibilities.
It's definitely going to be a challenge, I think, but...
With Summit coming up, it's hard to say.
I think it's a challenge that rdwalshv is willing to accept. Because how he's been playing, which has been pretty well, to say the least. It seems that, meanwhile, Casual Knight is about a Summit segment behind Catnip, as at the beginning of 1,000, Catnip is at the beginning of 1,500.
Let me look that up. I'm kind of also curious about 4Cat's PB as well. Yes, Catnip's sitting at a 48.31 as of 4 days ago.
Let's That's a pretty good... I think at the beginning of the tourney, they had a 55 flat, so... That's a very good time.
JJ's screen still sitting nice on Summit there.
I like it a lot.
Nice view. It's the view of a good
I don't want to see that death count, because that was just crazy good. But, I mean, this is still a nice view, as Casual Knight now entering that 1500. Catnip nearing the ending screen of it. And rdwalshv working on battling still. Having a lot of trouble with this screen, which can be a very rough one.
Approaching the end of the fight, though, at this point.
Yep.
Still approaching the final, I think, 2 screens, is it?
This is the second to last screen of the fight.
Of the fight, yeah, so we're getting kind of close to the end for rdwalshv here.
Yeah, and I'll be honest, if to me it might be one of the easier ones of the fight.
Yeah, it seems like there are a couple of nice breaks at the end of this chapter, after
yes,
some
absolutely.
really tricky screens, especially in the first phase, I'd say. Even this
yeah.
This last screen's almost kind of a nice break, after everything else has proceeded.
I mean, I always get insanely nervous around feathers, so...
And it's a long screen, too, so
it
can
is.
definitely go either way, for sure.
But those spikes are shattered, and the fight is over.
Yeah, rdwalshv clearing those last couple of screens like it's nothing, actually.
Yeah.
Pretty impressive
And
finish.
Catnip. Now working again. Oh my god!
Ooh.
Oh no!
Uh-oh.
Had a really cool save and died right at the end.
Uh-oh.
Alright. Oh! Oh!
Okay, okay. Not quite.
What's happening?
Oh,
I don't understand what's happening.
I'm hooked on 4Cat's screen right now here. Just
Me
trying,
too.
Trying
Not
to figure
noticing.
trying to figure out a good way to proceed here past this very cruel and unusual snowball.
Nice splits, JJ. That looks like a rainbow on
4 different chapters.
Yeah, that looks like a rainbow for Resort. I think Temple. No, not Temple.
It looks like
That's
Old Site, Ridge,
Reflection, and then Summit pre-3000.
Not too shabby.
Yep. And Cat's going for auto-scroller skip. A really interesting wall bounce setup. Gets it first try.
Oh,
no.
There's just no coming
I
back
don't think
from
you can
that.
save that. Unless you can get a stupidly crazy spike jump that I've never seen.
There's just no saving that.
Yeah, but that's a really interesting wall bounce setup to the block that I've never seen before.
Yeah, A for effort, for sure.
I mean, it wasn't that wall bounce there. It was the problem of the second wall bounce.
4Cat was definitely saying, now that I remember our conversation before this race, that she was hoping to pull off some crazy stuff in 2,000 meters, and I guess that was it, huh? That was definitely...
2000 is definitely a crazy section.
Some next level stuff.
KJ actually going to be going that direction, which definitely, or not King J, what? I'm thinking of a different person. Casual Knight. Doing the upper route to get to that room. 4Cat chill.
Just, yeah, 4Cat's got no chill right now. She's like, I'm just moving right now.
I like to move it.
See y'all later. Some really fun stuff going on.
Yeah, and heading into the last room of 2000, well, Casual Knight's just entering 2000, and rdwalshv is just entering 500.
Yeah, so all of our racers at this point just kind of reaching these final few sections of the run. With rdwalshv actually moving through some of these screens quite nicely after having a bit of a rough battle and fight for like the first half or so. Really seems to be putting on a good show of consistency here thus far with this 500 section. So keep your eyes out.
And alright, Casual Knight. Don't think we're gonna see Casual Knight going for auto scroller skip, but hey, who knows? Yep, no, playing that safe. Understandable.
It's like Casual Knight's just going for the safety, yep. I mean, as we saw from 4Cat's screen, yeah.
And 4Cat's is going to be trying key skip here. Very nice. I
No
think that's
problem.
second try.
That was pretty fast.
And now we have rdwalshv in 1000. Something tells me Cat's gonna be trying door skip a few times, maybe.
I feel like 4cat's going like full meme right now, so
I think
We'll see.
4cat's just having a good time right now. I
absolutely.
think she's just here to have a fun time, and
Yeah.
definitely
I mean,
has
at
the
this
space
point-
between her opponent.
Yeah,
And
and
there it is, 1.
oh, let's
Oh.
go. Oh man.
So close. Going for it again though.
All right. If at first you don't
Oh.
succeed,
Try again.
try door skip.
Okay, yeah,
until
no,
you
hitting the
just
spring.
get blue in the face.
Hitting the spring, going for the second door!
Oh,
Alright, sure. Segmented door skip. Got one door skip on one try, and another one on a second try. I'll allow it.
GG's to Catnip.
Yeah.
Going for a really tricky strat that only saves 1 second. These runners should be also considering the importance of their average time here, because if they make it into the group stage, it does have implications for how they get seeded into brackets in the
Yep,
bracket stage of the
absolutely.
tourney.
So yeah, now Catnip's into 3000 as Casual Knight is on to 2500. Not even doing key skip, just going down to the basement to get this red bubble.
Going full casual, if you will.
Casual Knight.
I'm just kidding. No,
I mean, hey.
that skip is stupid hard, so I don't blame him for taking the easy way out.
I mean, it's not that bad. And that's my favorite death cycle in the game that rdwalshv just did. If you die in that room, you can literally hold right and be on the correct cycle. Like, you just walk right for a second, and you're on a good cycle. But yeah, Catnip blazing through this 3000 so far, through the down-pushing wind, which is very mean.
Casual Knight, going for door skip. Let's go. Oh man, so close.
Oh, dang. That's out of all the things he hasn't done. I did not expect him go to this, especially twice. Oh, I think trying a bit too hard to get too much height and not going to the right. Hey, that rhymed. Really persistent. I can kind of appreciate it.
Casual Knight wants this door skip.
He does want this.
100%. Let's go.
Yeah!
There it is.
There
All
we go.
right. GG's.
Door skip for Casual Knight
Phenomenal.
as rdwalshv onto the last room of 1500, while Casual Knight's on the last room of 2500.
I could watch people do door skip all day.
If I'm behind in my race. No, just kidding. This race is actually kind of important, the one I have today. Okay, just a bit of stuttering on Walsh's side.
Let's turn our attention to 4cat's screen here. Really getting down to the last few flags here.
Yeah, halfway through. That was flag 14 most recently.
Now that the fun and games are over with door skip and 2,000 meter shenanigans, it seems like 4cat's just kind of trying to wind down here and get a solid win under her belt here to help out her average.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it really seems like Casual Knight and 4cat have just kind of been on a similar wavelength for most of this race here.
Yes, absolutely.
Just in terms of like being in kind of the same part of the run for most of the matchup, which has been kind of entertaining to keep tabs on as we've kind of progressed through these two races here.
Yep. Finally getting that. Struggled a lot there on flag 12.
4cat going for a risky hyper strat.
What a surprise.
Alright.
I think
I see you, 4Cat. That was a good strat.
4Cat seems to be playing a lot aggressive with some of these strats, it feels like. And I feel like just refining her movement, she could definitely get that playstyle to pay off greatly soon.
Yeah. I think she's planning ahead for future PBs and just really trying to figure out the really advanced stuff now so that it'll be easier later on.
Yeah, absolutely.
Which is really commendable.
Meanwhile, Walsh nearing the end of 2,000 and Casual Knight working through 3,000. Catnip's at 4. So, really close.
Alright. And over on rdwalshv's screen, we have him wrapping up 2,000 meters here. And see how he does with his final screen. Always a bit tricky to get through this particular battle and bubble section. Especially at the end, where she kind of jukes out of the way at the last second.
Yeah.
Kind of trolly, but no problem there.
But I mean, the bubbles always go to the same spot, so if you can remember where to go, fine.
It's just kind of it's kind of weird positioning, I guess, at the end of the screen there, and I guess for newer folks, it can be a little bit of a challenge to just make sure you're going to the right spot at the end of that rather long screen.
Mm-hmm. Casual Knight heading to the last 10 on the flags. Meanwhile, Catnip on the final 3. And RD Walsh making good progress through 2,500.
Looking to get
Catnip almost accidentally skipping flag 2. Did not want to do that.
Ooh. 4Cat spoiling the end result here in chat. Dang. I guess we know it had to end at some point.
It did.
Yeah.
The chaos. Oh my goodness.
Oh, let's go, Catnip. Let's go. You're almost done. And we see RD Walsh also just deciding not to go for key skip, which can be a bit of a headache to nail consistently. So.
Yeah, flag 2 is really mean. Because right at the end of it, you have to deal with a bit of stamina management that, as you see there, can mess you up if you're not careful with it. But there we go. Now on to flag 1.
All right, flag 1. This should be just about the end here. And finishing strong with a 53-54 for 4Cat. GG's.
Very good. And Walsh not going for door skip, I am honestly not surprised because it is very challenging. Not something I expected him to learn this with a 103.
Yeah. As a newer runner myself, I just don't see myself going for door skip either, so I can definitely relate to RD Walsh's decision to not go for the epic meme.
Yeah, and Casual Knight now past all the spikes, just has to not reset at the top and is done as well.
GG's to Casual Knight. Definitely tightening it up there. 54-57. GG's to Casual Knight. Nearly a PB for Casual Knight, but missed it by about 30 seconds.
Oh, wow. Very close, then. That's very good. Meanwhile, Walsh on a possible sub-hour pace right now in 3,000.
Yeah, let's see. He's going to have to cruise a little bit, but it could happen.
I believe in him to cruise. I believe in the cruise.
Me as well. We're down to 27 here. 5 minutes 26. To go. 26. Gonna have to play consistent to pull off that sub 1, but if not sub 1, then PB is certainly on the table with a 103.
Sub 1 are like a 3-minute difference, so
103 being the time to beat here for rdwalshv.
Yeah.
Moving through the downdraft section here with the heavy gravity.
Really good jump there. And there's flag 21, which is very close to the end of this downward wind, which is a really hard section because how bad it's pushing against you. Especially right here. Yeah, just playing safe, nice climbing.
Very nearly running out of stamina there, but powers through. Honestly, a very clean downdraft section from rdwalshv.
Yeah, absolutely. I kind of wish I could play like that sometimes.
That was pretty wild. That was like, what, 10 flags in about a minute? That was pretty good.
Yeah, just that steady. Ooh, doesn't need flag 18. Oh!
We're definitely seeing a fantastic effort from rdwalshv here.
Yeah, to get that sub 1.
Clearly, looks like there's been a good deal of practice for this section.
This is scaring me.
This is just really smooth at the moment.
Yeah, absolutely. Climbing through, and first trying checkpoint 14, which is definitely, when you're a new runner, one of the harder checkpoints to get through, so I think the whole block from like 14 to like 12 are 3 of the hardest when you're newer to the game.
Yeah, flag 11 too, in my experience.
Yeah, flag 11.
Also a bit of a headache.
Also 9 is really annoying. Really, I think that second third of flags, from like the end of the updraft to basically the last orb throw, which the orb throw leads into 6. So like that section from like 19 to 6 is honestly the worst section.
Flag 9 is no problem for rdwalshv here.
I wish I could play flag 9 like that.
This has been really just remarkable.
This has been an amazing 3000 from Walsh. Playing it safe, gonna grab and get that, and just jump up.
Could this be the sub 1?
I think it is at this point. That's flag 4 right there. Has 2 minutes to get through the last 4 flags. If he keeps playing 3000 like this, I don't think there should be a problem. But again,
we did see
the end of Summit does like to be mean. So
yes, and we did see 4cat.
Let's just hope it doesn't take it away from him.
4cat demonstrating just how brutal the end of Summit can be for runners.
Yeah, with the flag 3 problems and the 2. But all right, 3 flags to go in like about 2 minutes is definitely possible for Walsh.
Can this be the sub 1?
Definitely, especially with playing it safe, going up and down. First try, flag 3.
Or sorry, my bad.
And climbing, and is that flag 1?
That's flag 1.
There it is.
Let's
Shouldn't
see.
waste a minute.
Could this be? Could this be a 59?
Could also be a 58.
Let's see. What's the final time?
If he gets up there.
Skipping 59 gets a 58-55.
58-55.
Absolutely wild finish.
Absolutely incredible.
58-55.507.
Good 5 minutes there. There's about 5 minutes or so for 4 or 5 for Walsh, and that's awesome. First sub 1. That's a great milestone to hit. 2
PBs in one set of 2 races. That's not too bad.
Yeah, one stream. That's really cool. And 2 really good races in a set of 2 races. So, what else could you ask for?
Yeah. Wow, that finish was really exciting. I was a little bit scared that that rdwalshv was going to hit some kind of snag, but really just absolutely crushed the end of that.
Absolutely.
So GG's to all the runners here. I don't know if we're gonna do like interviews or anything like that, but
I don't know what's going on. It looks like, I mean, we could technically have time, but I don't know if anybody wants to do one, because right now, the only other race that's happening today is still an hour and 20 minutes away. And hey, I'm in that. So,
GLGL.
yeah, I'm going to be racing Andy Perfect in a bit under an hour and a half. So that's going to be on the main channel on Speed Gaming. So if you want to check that out, that's going to be the last race for tonight. And then tomorrow we start as early as 9 a.m. with Row Money versus Seki Compacto. Which,
very exciting.
Yeah, that's going to be another exciting one.
Races around the clock.
Yeah. A lot of races at 3. There's a 4-way race and a 1-on-1 happening all at 3 tomorrow. And yeah, just a ton of races to look out for. Again, if you do !Celeste in any Speed Gaming chat, you'll get a list of links. And somebody just joined the voice channel.
Whoa.
Sorry, I dragged you in, JJ.
Oh gosh.
It's all right.
Oops, I dragged
Walsh.
you.
Okay, so we are going to be doing some interviews. Pretty cool.
All right.
Hey guys, congrats on the PBs.
Thank you.
Oh, thanks.
Phenomenal play.
Good job on sub 1 too. I remember the first time I hit sub 1, I was ecstatic.
That's a big milestone. It is.
Yeah. It was also my second run, but like still.
Yeah, thanks. It feels good. That one Rubin reflection though, I'm not. That's yeah.
Reflection's a mean one, honestly. I remember before I took a break, like when I learned this game, it was like before the tutorials were still being made, so I didn't look at them. And then when I came back, I started watching those, and all of my chapters improved by a ton. So like, my reflections used to go up to like 11-minute stuff, and it could just be because of single rooms. So yeah, I can definitely understand why that's a problem.
And a lot of it was like I was just kind of like looking at the clock, like, wow, I'm doing pretty okay in reflection, and then that room happened, and like, okay, that was just nerves.
Yeah, I mean, I'm at the point where I'm literally upset over my PB reflection with 5 deaths, so I obviously need to take my standards and lower them a bit. But yeah, that was still really good. JJ, this is your 3rd PB today, right?
My 3rd PB today and my 3rd tournament PB. I've
Jeez.
done 3
tournament race.
Yeah.
Oh my god, you're a monster. When will you stop?
I was like really shaky at the beginning of the race. I was like making deaths that like I don't normally make because I was making simple mistakes like going up, dashing up right instead of up and stuff like that, just because like my hands are shaking. And I was looking at my timer, realizing that I could 37. Like on my way up to 3,000, but then I died on the final thing of 2,500, and I'm like, yeah, I'm done.
Yeah.
I died at the very end of 2,500 and on the second flag at the very end of that one. Those are 2 where I usually die. But it is a new death PB, so.
What was that? I missed that.
It was 23 deaths.
Wow. Okay. That's really
pretty
good.
low. That's pretty impressive.
Yeah, nice.
All right. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know what to say. That's just really good.
Any final thoughts before we head off, guys?
Just good luck on your future races.
Thanks. When can we expect to see you guys up and at it again?
Hopefully soon. We're not in the same bracket, but we can like schedule our races together, so like we could both be seen. That's the strat.
It's definitely on the table for sure. Well, GG's for sure.
GG. All right.
And to answer a question, as I mentioned, we only have one more race tonight between myself and Andy Perfect, but yeah, if you want to see any of these racers again tomorrow, I'm also going to be showing up with RD Walsh in a race. So
Hey.
good luck tomorrow, I guess.
Yeah, thanks. Hopefully I can.
So
Yeah.
for now, does anything else have anything? So anyone else have anything else to say?
Check out all the streams that I just linked. All of them.
Yeah.
They're all amazing people, and you should check them all out.
I
Except for JJPlaysgames one. I don't know that guy.
think that person's pretty cool.
But yeah. See you in the next race.
Mm-hmm.
GG's, guys.
Yeah. Thank you guys for commentating.
Yeah,
No problem. It's
seriously.
a lot of
It
fun.
was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Ham's a lot of fun to be around. It was just a good time.
Yeah,
Less
definitely.
than 3.